Hello, welcome to SquishiVision. We're about to react to Rings of Power: The Great Wave, and boy, this episode was pretty darn good on delivering. So, I'm enjoying the series so far. I have commented that I think the pacing is not maybe off, but inaccessible. You either have to commit to wanting this show, or you'd probably be turned off by kind of how pacing is. But this show is kind of like delivery after delivery, and for midpoint, it's what you want. So we get the delivery from the R&D. I mean, well, we get delivery from most parts. I commented before, but each episode seems to like abandon one of the threads and concentrate on the other threads because there's a lot of threads, parallel threads going on. Not every episode can concentrate on them all. So we don't follow the half-foot plot in this episode. We skip that for now. But the Arendelle and the kind of human story and Theo's story, we get the kind of reveal that the guy who he nicked the sword from was an agent of Sauron. We get some, well, we don't get all the answers. Still don't know who Adar is, but we know a bit more about kind of the sword. Arendelle gets let go so he can like basically be a messenger and warn humans that they have to either pledge allegiance or die, kind of deal. That entire kind of sequence with Theo was basically kind of horror genre. He was being, so his first kind of thing was like he got caught by an orc who spotted the sword and he had to go hide in the well, and that was like kind of, there's like one jump scare when the orc appeared behind him, and his entire sequence where he had to kind of escape from the village was something out of like a stealth video game, and that really helps to hit stealth levels, where he kind of had to go from cover to cover to cover, and eventually he was caught and then he saved last minute by Arendelle, and then they have to escape from the forest and shooting arrow match, and then it's a really great great cinematic scene when they reach the edge of the forest. They're about to be caught by the orcs, and then the sun appears behind clouds, and you just get this kind of like painting-esque shot of the clouds with the sun coming through it, and it's backlighting Arendelle and Bronwyn and Theo and stopping the orcs from appearing, and it's shot really well, and I really love it. I'm going to go quite quick with my review here because I've got my coursework to be doing, as you can see in my description below, so we're going to kind of skim through it. But like, I can definitely sing praises. I really love that scene. It's really just shot so well, and then they go back to the watchtower, and it reveals that one of the guys there is actually a Sauron agent, and he's gonna try and, I guess, make Theo evil. The Galadriel, Numera, Isildur, Eledil, Harambug. Why can't I remember these characters' names? Sorry, my kitten was trying to munch. She's still trying to munch on my cable. Sorry about that. So yeah, the sequence with Halbrand, rather, Isildur, Eledil, Galadriel, and Miriel, they're all kind of interlinking stories. Isildur wants to get kicked out of the Sea Cadets so that he can go west, but ends up getting all his friends kicked out, which I imagine is going to bite him. I'll be right back. My green screen's ruined. Thanks, Cat. It's the other ones that kicked out of the Sea Cadets so he can go and explore west. But ends up getting his friends kicked out. Galadriel tries really hard to still convince Muriel to go with her to war, and Muriel's not having it, and she ends up being like, well, I'll go ask your father, which is a sore point. She's put in jail, and then Halbrand advises her a bit more on like diplomacy and like manipulation and kind of using Muriel's fears to kind of get her on her side, and she kind of bonds with Muriel in a moment of vulnerability, which is really nice to see. And eventually Muriel making Galadriel leave, but that kind of causing the tree to start tearing, which is a reference to the downfall of Numenor, which I know vaguely about. She went to like, well, okay, I guess I'll go with you back to Middle Earth, and a whole like kind of army. It's the whole thing like, I need volunteers, and everyone kind of like slowly people like hesitant, and then they start putting their hands up, and it's like really heroic. There's lots of scenes, there's those kind of culmination bits in this episode where things kind of build up, and then it culminates, and it's kind of like, yay, we do like this kind of thing. Happens with the like the human orc conflict, culminates in that kind of nice sunrise sequence. This all culminates in them deciding that they're gonna go back with her to Middle Earth after kind of the whole conflict. We also get the story. We go back to the elves and the dwarf story, and oh, I really love that part because it's so wholesome. Like Elrond's being sneaky, but then Durin's like, well, you're my friend, so I'll tell you what the secret is, and he makes him promise, and he promises, and he tells him the secret. I really hope he doesn't break the promise. His wife, what's her name? Disa is like being really faithful to her husband and like very sneaky towards Elrond, but Elrond can see past her sneakiness, and then she's like, oh well, if you hadn't gone and like been sneaky with my husband might be buried alive because of the whole like he got distracted from that moment thing. And then Elrond being like, you should be nice to your father because you know how much time you got left, and he goes to his father and apologizes, and his father's like, you don't have to apologize to me, I'm always here with you. And it was like, it was also like really wholesome, and everyone was really wholesome, and I'm like, I really, really hope these guys don't have a fallout because it'll break my heart. I'm invested in these guys' friendship. It's a really, really strong elven dwarven friendship, and they genuinely do care about each other, and I'm like, no, please be friends. I need this warmth from my cold dead heart. But yeah, no, okay, I'm gonna end it. I've got coursework to do, and also I need to do some research into some Steam games that are now on offer, and I need to see if I can afford them. So I'm gonna end it there. This is a really strong episode of loads of payoffs. We're halfway through, so it's kind of seeing where we go from here. I was worried that we're gonna like kind of get loads of like builds up and of payoffs, but we're starting to get the payoffs now. So hopefully we keep getting payoff after payoff. The orcs are still really freaky, especially like during that horror scene when they're like video game bad guys just stalking around. Just yeah. Episode was genuinely episode was genuinely like really good. Like it fit the horror, fit the stealth, fit the thriller, it fit the wholesomeness, the drama. The acting was great. Everyone was kind of on board. I was no one was off, especially like the dwarf, Elrond and Durin were like just so wholesome, so like real, and so warm, and like the emotions with each other is great. It was like, honestly, Elrond and Durin's friendship is here's my end point. Elrond and Durin's friendship, I am more defensive of than Gimli and Legolas's. Like the scope for it being a TV show and a streaming show means I can spend more time in that kind of exploring these kind of interpersonal things and more. I have a better feel of their history with each other and I haven't even seen most of their friendship because obviously I knew each other before now than I did with Legolas and Gimli. So yeah, that's the point I'm gonna end on. Thanks for watching. Tomorrow is a free episode release of Andor. So yeah, gotta go do that even though I have coursework to do. See you tomorrow.